E3 is a time for building hype for new games. Companies have to incite a reaction and a yearning for a title in order to boost sales. However, despite the hype, not all games ever get to be released. Some fade into obscurity, some are cancelled through controversy, and some are abandoned. Either way, here's a list of 10 anticipated games that got cancelled. Rare. Rare was once known for its 3D platformers, and Conker's Bad Fur Day earned its cult following due to its mature content and vulgar humour. Unfortunately for Conker fans, this series seems to be cursed. After the first day the game came out, Rare began developing a sequel, referred to as Conker's Other Bad Fur Day. Unfortunately, it was cancelled. In 2002, Microsoft purchased Rare. They remade the first game, and then began work on an unannounced multiplayer Conker game called CONKER, Getting Medieval. It was also cancelled. In 2015, Conker returned again through Project Spark, with a new episodic story called Conker's Big Reunion. The first episode came out in April, but with changes to Project Spark made later in the year, further work on Conker's Big Reunion ceased. Microsoft has announced a HoloLens exclusive game called Young Conker. But even if it isn't cancelled due to the backlash, it definitely isn't the Conker game fans want. Is the Conker series cursed? Conker's Bad Fur Day might be a cult classic, but its anticipated sequels have meant nothing but trouble. In 2002, Blizzard announced StarCraft Ghost, a third-person shooter spin-off of the StarCraft series that would star Nova. Ghost would include stealth gameplay in both its single-player and multiplayer modes, and players would learn about the secret project conducted by the Terran Dominion. After its announcement, StarCraft Ghost was delayed, re-announced, delayed again, and then indefinitely postponed. In 2008, Blizzard excluded it from a list of cancelled games and said it wasn't actually cancelled, but in 2014, its cancellation was finally made official. Nova's backstory was covered in a novel called StarCraft Ghost Nova, but many fans still dream of what the game could have been. Fez was a puzzle platformer released by the indie studio Polytron in 2012, and it quickly became one of the most prominent indie games of the year. People loved Fez, and its fans were thrilled when E3 2013 included the announcement of Fez 2. Unfortunately, their hopes were dashed when Polytron founder Phil Fish suddenly left the gaming industry after an argument. The news left everyone shocked, including the rest of Polytron, which was no more prepared for his departure than the fans were. Fez was beloved, and Fez 2 could have been an excellent chance to improve on the original, but unless Phil Fish changes his mind, which is very unlikely, it looks like it'll never come to be. Agent was a stealth action game being developed by Rockstar North for the PlayStation 3. It was set during the Cold War and promised a story dealing with espionage and counterintelligence. After announcing it in 2009, however, Rockstar went quiet about Agent. In 2011, Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two, said the game was still in development. In 2013, they registered 2 trademarks for it. Now it's 2016, 7 years after Agent was announced, and we still have yet to see anything from it except for a handful of leaked screenshots. It remains one of the most elusive games on this list. Has it been cancelled? Will it ever be re-announced? Fans hoping for a Cold War stealth game from Rockstar will have to wait indefinitely. Although this Star Wars game has never been announced, details about the cancelled Darth Maul game made fans of the Zabrak Sith Lord mourn for what could have been. Redfly Studio, contracted in 2010 to make a game about Darth Maul, imagined a dark story of his apprenticeship under Palpatine and transformation into a Sith Lord. LucasArts, however, intended the game to be set after the movie. As they gave Red Fly details about Darth Maul's return, the team began work on the game, which had the tagline Battle of the Sith Lords. Confusion and a lack of direction from LucasArts led to a discussion between Red Fly and George Lucas. However, he not only changed the gameplay direction, but also told them to include Darth Talon, a character who lived 170 years after Darth Maul. Their Darth Maul could no longer be the original Maul, but they continued with the game's new direction, until LucasArts suddenly stopped communicating with them. In 2011, the team received a cancellation notice. Red Fly Studio still hopes to one day resurrect their Darth Maul game, but until then, fans can only dream. Interplay Entertainment, responsible for the original Fallout games, once joined forces with MMORPG developer Masthead Studios to create an MMO set in the Fallout universe called Fallout Online, and referred to as Project V13. Interplay intended to include a meta puzzle that would lead players to cooperate with and compete against each other. The game would also feature multiple races with their own starting stories, towns managed by players, guilds, and more. Around the same time, however, in 2007, Bethesda Softworks acquired the rights to the Fallout IP. An agreement still allowed Interplay to make Fallout Online, but trouble ensued. By the term of the agreement, Interplay had 2 years to begin development and secure funding. In 2009, Bethesda claimed Interplay had not fulfilled the agreement. From there, things spiraled. Bethesda made numerous claims against Interplay, which Interplay countered. Their legal battle continued for the next 2 years, until they finally settled it out of court. Unfortunately, due to the terms of the settlement, Interplay could no longer use Fallout's name or universe and turned over all rights to Bethesda. Fallout Online was officially no more. Interplay took what remained of Project V13 and transformed it into a strategic RPG with the help of Black Isle Studios. But whatever the new Project V13 will be like, it won't be the same as a Fallout MMO RPG. The Lord of the Rings is an epic high fantasy novel written by author J.R.R. Tolkien. The books helped define what we all know as fantasy today, and has been adapted into both films and games over the years. In 2006, EA unveiled the title Lord of the Rings: The White Council, which boasted it was going to be the next generation of Lord of the Rings games that introduces the first epic open-world adventure. Players were going to have the freedom to explore the open world of Tolkien's Middle-earth. You could choose your role as a human, an elf, a dwarf, or a hobbit. Each role's destiny is to become a hero allied with the White Council, whose members included the famed characters Gandalf, Saruman, Galadriel, and Elrond. Unfortunately, on February 2nd, 2007, the game was announced as being on indefinite hiatus, and to date, no further information has been released. Mega Man fans are none too pleased with Capcom these days, and one source of their ire is the cancellation of Mega Man Legends 3. The Mega Man Legends series was a 3D action-adventure spin-off of the regular Mega Man series. There were 2 main Mega Man Legends games, as well as a prequel series called The Misadventures of Tron Boone. People wanted a 3rd game, and in 2010, Capcom announced Mega Man Legends 3 for the Nintendo 3DS. Fans were ecstatic. Even after Keiji Inafune left the company, Capcom said the game would still be made. In 2011, they announced a 10-mission prologue called Mega Man Legends 3 Prototype Version, which would be available from the Nintendo eShop. But just a few months later, in July, Capcom informed fans that both the prototype version and Mega Man Legends 3 itself were cancelled. Why? No one knows for sure, and it doesn't look like Mega Man Legends 3 will ever return. It remains one of the saddest cancellations in video game history. Darth Maul isn't the only Star Wars fan favourite character whose planned game was cancelled. The same fate befell a certain beloved bounty hunter. Star Wars 1313 was announced in 2012 and shown at E3. It was an action-adventure game starring a bounty hunter. As such, it lacked the lightsabers and force powers seen in many Star Wars games, and instead focused on cover-based shooting and the use of gadgets. Set in the grim level 1313 area of Coruscant's underground, it was a darker, grittier take on the Star Wars universe and was even anticipated to get an M rating. Unfortunately, when Disney acquired Lucasfilm, it put Star Wars 1313 on hold indefinitely. Worse, it was revealed that the bounty hunter in the E3 footage was a placeholder. The actual protagonist of the game was Boba Fett. Star Wars 1313 might still surface someday, but since Disney never renewed its trademark, chances don't look good. In 2014, what appeared to be a new horror IP appeared on the PlayStation Network. Not only was the mysterious PT much scarier and intriguing than players expected, it was also not what it seemed. A new little horror game? No, it was a playable teaser for the new Silent Hill game, being made by Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro and starring Norman Reedus. Fans went insane for the newly announced Silent Hills. The teaser was terrifying and the game was in the hands of a dream team. Silent Hill fans waited in anticipation for what could be the scariest game in the series. And then, everything went wrong. Rumours began to circulate about Kojima's relationship with Konami. Konami removed references to him from their website. Everyone believed he would soon leave the company. Del Toro and Reedus both expressed their disappointment over the cancellation of Silent Hills. Then Konami made it official. Silent Hills had been cancelled. PT was pulled from the PlayStation Store, and it could not even be re-downloaded by players who had it and deleted it. What will Konami do with the Silent Hill series? Will Kojima create something similar to Silent Hills on his own? Whatever happens, Silent Hill has had a shadow cast over it by the legacy of PT and the dreams of what Silent Hills could have been. I hope you enjoyed this week's list, and if you did, leave a like, and if you want to see more in the future, subscribe. And if you want to see another list now, click here for my 10 origins of gaming slang that you may not know, or here for the top 10 games made by one person.